every level you've kind of gone, you eventually caught up and passed. How excited are you for this stage?
Oh, I'm super excited. I mean, especially, with the opportunity this year. Last year, obviously, I had the WBC, so I got some reps. But, I feel like coming into this year, I've earned that spot to get some reps over there at shortstop and play next to some of these guys, and just super excited. Like you said, I've usually caught up and kind of got my feet underneath me, and I'm hoping that's the same case for the big leagues.
How much will last year help you? You know what you didn't know now, right? I've
Oh,
heard a lot of guys mention that you get up here and you think you know everything, but you kind of learn that you don't know everything, right?
100%. I mean, I never want to go in there thinking that I know everything. I always want to be a sponge and soak up some knowledge. But I think having that last month and a half, 2 months up there with the guys and getting that big league experience was really good for me. I think going into this year being fresh, if this was my first, my debut, would be a little bit more nervous. But like you said, getting that last little bit of time right there, I think is going to be really big for me this year.
Masyn, you had power numbers along the minor league journey to get to this point. When I spoke to you a little while ago, I think you said power is not going to be your concern. You have a very good lineup here, and you want to get on base for him. Has your approach changed in terms of what you want to be at the plate offensively?
Oh, I mean, I for sure want to get on base. I mean, for sure that's going to be my first priority. But I mean, obviously, I think the power is going to come. That's not really going to be my main focus. Jordan Walker, he might, he'll probably hit a few more homers than I will. But for me, I think the biggest thing is just going to be getting on base for these guys. Letting my speed work, scoring some runs for our pitchers.
You put on some weight. I'm sorry, you put on some weight too. Is that part of the deal? Will you see a power benefit from that?
I'm hoping so. I mean, I'm hoping lifting weights is gonna help me hit the ball farther. But I think it's a big thing for health too. Just staying on the field. I think a big thing for me is my health. I think the more I can be on the field, the more beneficial for the team it'll be.
Compare yourself to this time last year. What is your comfortability level right now as compared to that?
Oh, it's amazing. I mean, last year I was so nervous just to be around the big league guys. I mean, my first big league spring training, I didn't really know what was going to happen, but coming in this year, I'm a lot more comfortable. Seeing a lot of familiar faces. Big leagues, minor leagues. So I'm feeling a lot better than last year for sure.
Can you talk about your relationship with Jordan again? How much time have you spent during the off season together? I know you guys were able to report together yesterday, wanting to get things started early. Talk about how that will help you with your game and the friendships you've created so far.
Yeah, I mean, obviously everybody knows Jordan's my brother. I mean, our families are real close now, and we've gone through the system together. But yeah, I mean, he let me stay with him for a little bit down here in Florida. Getting ready for spring training, so that was good. And it's always good having a guy your age. We think a lot alike, so being around him, getting to play baseball with him every day is really a blast.
You have a lot of new leaders, a lot of new voices in the clubhouse right now, a lot of new pitchers. Can you talk about what you might want to learn from them as you're kind of coming into a new spring training, looking to move forward into this season?
Yeah, I mean, losing Wayno is going to hurt for sure, but I mean, we got a lot of guys, like you said, a lot of vets coming back in, and we got Carp and Lance just off the top of my head to talk to, former Cardinals, great established big leaguers. So just being around those guys and like I said, just being a sponge, I think, for me and Jordan is going to be the biggest thing. I mean, being around so much knowledge in this clubhouse is amazing.
Have you had a chance to talk with either Carp or Lynn yet?
Len, not too much, but Carp is actually right next to me in the clubhouse. So, yeah, we talked a lot. I mean, he reached out to me. We're both from Houston, so, he wanted to reach out and make sure I felt comfortable with him. And just talking to him, I mean, great dude, great person to be around. I'm really excited to have him in the clubhouse.
Just general baseball stuff or anything specific yet?
Oh, just life, man. I mean, he'll talk baseball, he'll talk life. I mean, like I said, we're both from Houston, so, I mean, he was giving me his whole backstory about his dad being a coach and everything. So, no, just great dude, just talking to him and just talking life.
Masyn, when you talked to us at Winter Warm-Up, you mentioned a bunch of changes you made over the offseason to your swing. Now that it's here, what are you most excited to show off this spring about those changes?
I'm just excited to show I can compete. I mean, I think last year, I didn't do a very good showing of me hitting up there in the big leagues, and I think everybody knows defense is going to be there. So for me, the biggest thing is just taking that stride hitting wise, and I think if I can just compete and, like I said, just get on base for my teammates, I think that'll be super beneficial.
Would you consider your swing revamped or just maybe fine-tuned?
I would say more fine-tuned. I mean, I had a good year in AAA last year, and it didn't really translate to the big leagues. And I think it's because I was making too big of adjustments up there, trying to change too much. So throughout the offseason, I've really just been trying to make little tweaks and just trying to get my body right as far as just being consistent at the plate.
You always have
high expectations for yourself. What sort of expectations do you have this year going into camp and going to what looks like your first full season?
You know, last year, you know, I said I wanted 15 homers and I got 20, so I'm going to say 15 again this year. I think Busch Stadium is going to be a little tough for sure. You know, might have to come on the road a little bit, but no, I mean, same goals. I mean, I want to go out there and want to win a lot of games. You know, me and Walk have talked about it. We haven't really gotten to play for too much yet, so you know, I think playoff push, World Series, I think that's going to be a lot of fun this year.
You opened a lot of eyes in spring training last year. What did that do for you the rest of the year? I mean, it seemed like it kind of showed people up here that, hey, he can handle this level. What did it do for you personally?
I mean, it was great. You know, it was really good. And then I got to AAA and hit 100 for the first month, so that wasn't great. But you know, got my feet back up under me and kind of took off with it. But just the confidence going out there. I mean, I was hitting against big league pitching all spring training and feeling good, and it got me right for the season. I mean, being around the guys, being able to show the big league staff, and you know, just really everybody what I can do was really fun last year.
You just mentioned it there. Like every level you've gone to, maybe the first month, 6 weeks are a little rocky, but then you take off. What are your memories of each level that you've jumped? Is it just kind of getting used to the level?
I would say so. I mean, I think at every level it's definitely a different adjustment. I mean, at each level for sure. And you know, I think obviously the biggest jump is probably AAA to the big leagues. I mean, you know, the best starter in AAA is the sixth starter in the big leagues. So I think just getting used to the good pitching, man. I mean, trying to get my pitches rather than hitting pitchers' pitches for the most part.
Yep.
Masyn, what's your sense for the energy of the team at this point entering spring training? After a year that didn't go the way y'all wanted as a team, how do you feel about just the ability to start fresh at this point as a team?
I feel good, man. I mean, you know, everybody starts 0-0 this year, so it's definitely different. You know, we get to start off with the Dodgers, so that'll be a good test. And you know, I think it'd be nice to run away with the series dub out of that. You know, get the season started right. But I think as far as energy-wise, I mean, we got a lot of good guys. Like that clubhouse for me is, I mean, never been better. At each level I've been through, I've always had a lot of good guys, but this year we got a lot of guys that are hungry, a lot of good people to be around. And I think chemistry is a lot bigger than people think, and momentum is a lot bigger than people think. And you know, we got a lot of guys pulling in the same direction right now.